Hello friends, myself Dr. Savia V. Sayyed, Assistant Professor and Head, Department of Botany, Sri Shivaji College, Parbhani. I am teaching you the topic plant-water relation. This topic is common for BSc SY paper number 7, for SEM 3 as well as BSc TY paper number 12. In this lecture, we will discuss about the mechanism of absorption of the water. As we know that life is not possible without water in case of living things, same as the plants also. When the plant absorbs the water from soil, mainly they absorb the capillary water which has dissolved nutrients, and the absorption of water takes place by root hairs which are present in the growing point of the just behind the growing point of the plant, and the uptake of the water by plant is called as absorption of the water. In this figure we can see that the roots, these are deeply rooted in the soil, and by means of the root hairs the root takes up or absorbs the water. We can see the path of the transmission of the water here also, which is denoted by means of the arrows. Here the root hairs absorbs the water and it is supplied to each and every part of the plant body. The mechanism of absorption of water or the pathway of absorption of the water in plant is as shown in the figure. The plant water absorption takes place by large amount of unicellular root hairs present just behind the growing tip of the root, which can be observed in seeds also, growing seeds also. The root hairs are shortly lived and they are constantly replaced by new root hairs. The root hairs absorbs the soil water, especially the capillary water, via their epidermis, and from the epidermis they supply this water to the cortex tissue by means of the plasmodesmata which are present in the neighboring cells, and through these plasmodesmata the root supplies or the root hair supplies the water to each and every cell of the root by means of the plasmodesmata up to the xylem of the root as shown in the transverse section of the root. There are two types of the water absorption in root. These are active absorption and passive absorption. When we are saying that the plant is performing active absorption of the water, the absorption of water takes place by spending the metabolic energy or ATPs which are produced during the respiration process in root cells. The root cells actively takes part in the process of absorption. Therefore, this type of absorption is called as active absorption. The force of water absorption originates from the cells of the root during respiration of the root. In case of passive absorption, the absorption of water takes place without spending metabolic energy or the ATPs. Here root acts as an organ of absorption. Therefore, it is called as passive absorption. This phenomenon can be observed during daytime because by leaf transpiration takes place due to opening of the stomata, and there is development of a force of absorption in the water from at the end of the leaf. This force of absorption of water is called as transpiration pull, and due to this transpiration pull the water absorption takes place. This can be explained by ascent of sap. Ascent of sap can be defined as the upward movement of the water from the base of the plant or stem to the apex of the plant or stem Because of this, the water can be supplied to each and every part of the plant body. It may goes up to the height more than 300 feet as found in Sequoia, the tallest plant, as well as in the Australian eucalyptus, where the rise of water against gravitational pull takes place by means of the mechanism of ascent of sap, and the water is supplied to each and every cell at the top. The path or the movement of the water in plants is xylem, through which the upward movement of the water occurs. And to explain this phenomenon, various theories have been proposed, of which transpiration pull theory is widely accepted throughout the world. The transpiration pull theory is also called as cohesive force theory. This theory is proposed by Dixon and Joly in 1894, and this is supported by Curtis and Clark in 1951 and by Leavitt in 1969. This theory is widely accepted throughout the world. According to this theory, the movement of water in plant from base to apex is possible only because of the cohesive and adhesive property of the water. The cohesive property of water is nothing but the force of attraction between the water molecules, and because of this force of water attraction between the water molecules, it forms a continuous column of water in the xylem tissue. While in case of the adhesive property of the water, there is force of attraction between the water molecules and the walls of the xylem, that is, the dissimilar molecules are showing their affinity together, which holds the water column tightly in continuous manner. And on the basis of this, the transpiration pull theory is put forth. According to this theory, when the loss of water takes place due to transpiration in the leaf, and due to this, the amount of water in the mesophyll cells decreases, and there is increase in the osmotic pressure as well as a diffusion pressure. To fulfill the requirement of the water in mesophyll cells, the water from the neighboring cells pushed or supplied to the adjacent cells and from by means of the xylem cells of the leaf, and due to this there is a tension is created in water in the xylem element. This tension is then transferred to the downward direction to water in the xylem of the petiole, xylem of the stem and xylem element of the root, and then water is pulled in the form of a continuous unbroken water column from base to apex of the plant body. In this way, due to ascent of sap, the water movement of water takes place. This is all about the ascent of sap as well as